Welcome to the Age of Exploration. Today we are continuing our discussion of key explorers, and by the end of this lesson, you will understand the obstacles and accomplishments of the explorers and the impact they made on the European exploration. Let's get started. This is a map of the known world prior to the first explorations that were made. As you can see, there isn't a clear distinction as to the separation of continents and countries, and they weren't sure of the exact locations of different places. There were many motives as to why Europeans explored the world. Here's the first reason. Explorers wanted to bypass intermediaries to get to Asia. It took travelers a long time to get to Asia, and they were going to try to avoid their enemies, so they wanted to find shorter routes. Reason number 2. Curiosity about other lands and people. There was so much unknown territories that Europeans didn't know about, so they wanted to discover more. Reason number 3. Monarchs seeking new sources of revenue. This means that during this time period, kings and queens were very interested in seeking for riches and making them more powerful. Reason number 4. Fame and fortune. Many countries just wanted to make a name for themselves, and they wanted to own more things. For instance, glory and gold. Making new discoveries would make them more powerful than other countries. During the time of exploration, there were new technologies that explorers would need before going on their journey. Here are 3 things that were made to make exploring easier. The first one, the Hartmann astrolabe. This was designed by a man named George Hartmann. An astrolabe is for taking altitude of the sun and stars, which helps them with direction. The second technology is a sextant. This comes from the astrolabe and was very similar. A sextant is used to determine latitude and longitude at sea by measuring angular distances. And last but not least, a compass. This was created after the astrolabe and sextant. This is something we still use today and helps find direction with a magnetized needle swinging towards magnetic north. In about 1418, Prince Henry started the first school for oceanic navigation, along with an astronomical observatory in Portugal. In this school, people were trained in navigation, map-making, and science in order to sail down the west of Africa. Now we are going to continue on and talk about 2 famous explorers. The first explorer is Christopher Colon, but most of you know him as Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus is one of the best-known explorers of all time. He is famous for his voyage in 1492, when he thought he discovered the Americas while he was looking for a way to sail to Asia. Columbus was known for 4 voyages. In 1492, his first one was to the New World, which he thought was Asia. In his second voyage, it was from 1493 to 1496. He was looking for riches in the New World and a quick route to Asia. On this trip, he explored Cuba and discovered the islands of Jamaica, Guadalupe, and Puerto Rico. In his third voyage, he tried to go again to the New World, but ended up exploring Cuba again. And on his last voyage, he went again to the New World from 1498 to 1500. The next explorer we are going to talk about is Ferdinand Magellan. Magellan was a Portuguese sea captain who led 5 Spanish ships and 251 men in the first around-the-world sailing expedition. This voyage was filled with challenges, disasters, and tragedy, but it was one of the most important events in the history of exploration. But to explain more about Magellan, here's a quick parody that I wrote and my sister sang about Magellan.
I'm gonna tell you a tale about a man who went sail. He kinda got lost and impaled when he explored the world. Magellan wanted to gain some spice and gold to contain. King Charles sent him from Spain to a place called East Indies. As he went out sailing, 5 ships to be loading. Rain, wind, it was storming. He didn't know where he was going. He kept on getting lost to the Indies, but he kept on going to find the spices. He crossed the Atlantic, went into the Pacific. They named the passage Strait of Magellan. Hey, it was hard work out there sailing, but it was worth it. Let's go exploring. Let's go exploring. wanted it so bad. He wanted it so bad. He wanted it so, so bad. He never got to the Indies. He was so sad. He was so sad. He was so, so sad. This expedition sparked some interest from other countries to go exploring. Hey, it was hard work out there sailing, but it was worth it. Let's go exploring.
As exploration continued on during this time, there was a lasting impact that the European expansion left. The first one, native populations were ravaged by disease. 2, an influx of gold and especially silver created inflation in the economy. And 3, new products were introduced across the continents. Hi everyone, we're done with our flip class and I just wanted to give you a heads up what's going to happen tomorrow. So we're going to be making a brochure, and this brochure is going to be about why we would want to sail with either Columbus or Magellan. So be ready to do some research tomorrow and have a lot of fun. Alright, have a great day!